Good afternoon, folks. This is going to be an intro video to what you're about to watch. I ended the previous video right before I was about to talk about the dry fertilizers. I was getting ate up pretty bad, so I've already finished up editing that portion, and hope you enjoy it. I'm just checking out all my tomatoes. I loosened up the branches a little bit so you can see down in there more visually. But as you can see, I got tomatoes everywhere, even these little weird grape ones. They're all over the place in there, all over the place. Yeah. Everything's doing good tonight. It's about going on 6, I think. There we go. Had a little bit of water in his head. So yeah, get out, check your garden. If you need to water, go water. It's the end of the day here. You're about to watch a video that I did earlier today. I am proud of these things. Look how big that sucker is getting. It's gotten bigger since this morning's video. I love that. I just love it. There we go. Keep her level-ish so she doesn't start growing and up the side or some crap. Anyway, so I went ahead and took the last of the big tomatoes off this sucker. Curled up. Not really sure what I did wrong here. Most of it seems okay. So for reference, this is a Cherokee tomato, okay? But this is its little baby I bought next to it. It was like a little cup, like literally that big from your point of view, okay? And now it's this big. So that's the point of reference, what the leaves on that particular tomato should look like. And something happened overnight after I fed with liquid fertilizer. Everything else is responding great. You know, darkening in color, showing some prolific growth within 24 hours. Everything, every last thing. And that's from the liquid fertilizer. So, once again, it's a journey. Keep an eye on your garden. Find deficiencies and issues like that, and just go with it. Look up the issue on the internet and try to diagnose it and try to heal it. Okay? We all have internet in our hands. I'm talking to my phone. We shouldn't even call these things phones anymore. It's a social interaction device, a SID. But anyway, hope you can get hope you all enjoy your day. There goes my headpiece again. Ain't got much rainwater left. Used just about all of it this morning. So anyway, y'all enjoy your day. It's Monday. The sun's right above the tree. Got about 3 to 4 hours worth of sunlight left. See if I can get the puppies to come out and play. It's still kind of hot. Later. It's pretty obvious and it's pretty simple, okay? You can buy all these at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart. This one's in a bucket because I got a hole in the back. No big deal. I also mix all my stuff in that bucket. And hey, there's my shaker, okay? If it's a little thick, I hold it like that. bounce it up and down the cup, and it'll still come out. Okay, very simple, the cheapest way you can do this stuff. Okay, now people will say there's cheaper ways to go about this too. Okay, but I personally can afford to get $10 bags. Okay, that'll be later. I just pulled it out. That's one of a couple different ones that you can get on the shelf. You can't get certain things that farmers can get. Anyway, that's good stuff. These two are all purpose, okay? And they both bring beneficial microbes and mycelium or fungi of some type, okay? Okay, here's the list of all those. Okay. And here. Okay, so I bring these to my table because they're all purpose, but they also bring those to my garden, okay? Beneficial microbes and beneficial fungi, you want that in your garden, okay? That's what breaks down these different things and makes it bioavailable into water-soluble, uptake capable to the plants, okay? It has to be broke down by the beneficial microbes, the fungi, and the macro size, the bugs and the worms, okay? It's all a life cycle. You have to feed all of them and help all of them thrive. Otherwise, you're not going to have giant plants in 2 months, okay? Look how big this sucker is. Okay, I'm gonna take off my damn shoe. Look at this sucker. Okay, that's a 9 or 8.5 wide. Okay, 8.5 wide. All right, that sucker is huge. Oof, got something there. Yeah, I don't want that in there. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Like, this sucker is just huge. That's 3 months. That's 2 months. Most of this is 2 months, but this like little stuff, that's recent. Okay, just give me some credit on that one. That's stunted, but it came back within the last couple of weeks since I've been really giving some attention. Again, this is lazy gardening. That's why it's set up the way it is. Okay, but this is all prolific growth with very little effort, and 2 months out of these or less. Okay, I planted some of these in 2-week increments and spaced them apart. Okay, that's older than those. Those 3 are older than these. Oh shit. Oh dang. Something's happening. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's not good. Okay, anyway. Oh, that's heart thumping. That was one of my babies. And it's either overwatering or too dry. But it looks moist from here, so yeah. We'll figure that out later. Okay, so my point being, I planted those first, okay? Planted those next, and those last, okay? That's 2 months. I would say that's 2.5 months. That's 3 months. That's 3 months, okay? And everything else is new. You need the entire life cycle, the entire micro and macro of the food web underground, okay? So, what is all that? Fungi is all of those mushrooms. Okay, that's the fungi is the word to describe what a mushroom is. Okay, fungus. Okay, the mycorrhiza is basically, you can use it as an example of a seed. It's not a seed, okay, but that mycorrhiza can spawn mycelium growth, and the mycelium growth can spawn mushrooms. Okay, it all works together. And like I said in other videos, the mycelium can become a symbiotic entity growing through the roots, and if these were in the ground, it could spread all the way to that plum tree. Okay, take a look at this. Okay, lush growth and deep greening. Okay, provides nitrogen for flowers, vegetables, trees, and shrubs. Okay, that's the type of plants you can use this on, but it's really signifying the nitrogen. Okay, you have a 12 nothing nothing. Okay, all blood meal is nitrogen. You can look up this bag or go to Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, and go read it for yourself. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, this will break down. This one says it'll break down within. Oh, don't even say. How about that? I would give it 2 weeks to a month to be bioavailable for a water soluble, and then 2 weeks later it should be available in abundance for uptake. That's just a guesstimate. I'm going off of experience of how things break down. So I give it a rule of thumb of 2 weeks for the initial process and 2 weeks for the next process, and possibly it could take 2 weeks for the plant to suck up all of it. So you're looking at a month and a half to 2 months before you need that again. And on the third month, for the third month, at the 2.5 week mark, I would sprinkle that on top and let it water in. That way, within that 2 weeks, when your plant becomes hungry again, this will start already breaking down, and it'll be trace amounts at that point, but 2 weeks later again it'll break down further. Okay, so that goes with all these things. That's my guesstimate. You can do your research and do your own kind of guesstimate, but this is what typically works in my gardening method. Okay, again, these are all purpose. This is a 555. This one is 444. Okay, 444, 555. It's just your NPK. I would highly suggest looking these up. Last night it was these 3 bags, but because I got that, I might try that by itself, because there's a bunch of different things in here, and the analysis for it is quite different than this one. Okay, so we have all those. They look similar, but the way they interact may be different. Okay, because not all the microbes and fungi on the list are the same. All right, so obviously we're going to have a slightly different reaction, and this one looks to have more, so we'll see. Okay, when I do citrus, okay, that's when I know it's growing flowers. Okay, when it wants to push flowers, then I'll feed it some fruit juice, fruiting. Yeah, I can't speak today. Fruiting fertilizer. Okay, or fruit juice. Okay, because I will soak that in some water, some rainwater maybe, and let it dissolve. I'll make sure it comes out of my black wheelbarrow or the bucket there. That way the sun's heating it up. Okay, if you have warm to hot water, all of these will dissolve very quickly, and that's one of the key things I want to point out in simple gardening. Real people in their real backyards. Okay, you can put that, any of this stuff, okay? Let's just say blood meal, okay? Make it simple. Go get a sieve from the kitchen, which is the fine metal, fine, not your colander to drain pasta or veggies. It's for sieving like baking powder or flour, okay? Make it fine, okay? What you want is to put a scoop of that in your sieve and run the rainwater through it, okay? Allowing it to bleed out itself, okay? And you can take that broke down material and feed that directly to your plant in a liquid form. Now, that still needs to break down further, but it's broke down to a point where it can get down into the soil and be ready, available to the plant as soon as it breaks down, okay? Now, if you're watering heavy, this method will not work, okay? You will just flush the shit right back out the bottom, okay? So this will work if you are feeding and not water flushing through, okay? If you water flush through, okay, right here, holes in the bottom. Now, if you're watering to flush it through because it's pretty dry, you want to soak the entire grow bin, right? That's fine. You're hydrating the soil. Do it. Make sure that soil is hydrated. But then come back and feed it fish or more bloom or make liquid this, whatever you're needing. Get out of the garden. No, get back. So you're helping things along, and then it'll be readily available within a couple weeks, okay? Once you're feeding, it's going to stay in there because you're not going to flush it through, okay? If you want to do this method, hydrate the soil, wait an hour, or whenever it stops dripping or draining, okay? If it's hot and the top of the soil starts looking like it's evaporating, okay, go grab your liquid feed, okay, and only feed it the amount prescribed on the bag or less, and go around the perimeter of the root ball and leave it. Don't pour so much you're seeing it come out the bottom. That defeats the purpose. It's just stupid. I see that on camera constantly on YouTube, okay? So please, just take your time, hydrate your soil first, then feed. If you're doing dry feed and you want to break down through nature like I just did, do exactly what I just did. Top dress, as long as your mulch is not thick and heavy, okay? If you can still see the Fox Farm between the chips, fine. Sprinkle on top and water it in. It'll find its way in there, okay? But if you're so thick you can't see most of the soil, you're gonna have to take your small claw rake and get that out of the way and sprinkle on top, and then put your mulch back on, okay? When doing these into liquid form, I always cut their recipe for what you're supposed to feed in half anyway, because I think less is more over an extended period of time, okay? So as I did on the liquid fertilizing yesterday, I made my concentrated, which totaled 24 ounces. I diluted that mix in that bottle, filled that bottle all the way up with water, and then turned the sprayer on 8 ounces per gallon. That's also diluting it again, okay? So I'm cutting it and cutting it and cutting it because I want it to be readily available in my gun, basically, my sprayer, okay? At a higher rate, that way I can adjust who gets how much at what time. Yesterday was the first major liquid feeding for everyone, okay? Like I said before in that video, I would cut it down to 4 ounces or less per gallon in that same concoction, okay, my same recipe. So back to this again. I would take their recipe for feeding whatever square footage, okay, there it is, 1 pound per 100 square feet, okay. I would cut that in half, and if you want to get froggy with it, cut that in half, and then go take that half and get the biochar in equal proportion of that, or whatever the recipe calls for, whatever you're using, mix it in with that, okay? I like nitrogen, and that's safe to use, so is the liquid fish. But with the liquid fish, it's not just nitrogen, okay? You're getting organisms, biolife, okay? With all of these, I want microorganisms and fungi, as much as I can get, okay? For blooms and roots, I take that seriously, all right? More roots, more fruits, okay? More roots, more fruits, period. That goes for fruiting everything, okay? Or flowering something, okay? And if you're in a legal state, that kind of flower, you know, the kind you dry out and smoke, that stuff's good. You can do that 100% organic too, all right? But that's another subject for another channel. So more roots, more fruits, okay? This also claims the same thing, but as a beneficial 444 or 555 all-purpose, it's not directed at flowering and fruiting, but it aids in it, okay? This is more heavy on that, okay? It has a little bit of nitrogen, but that's from the plant materials it came from, or organic material it came from, I'm sorry. So you have that designed for that purpose, that designed for that purpose, okay? It's very simple. You can even look at the bags at Walmart and you don't have to worry about nothing. Just look at it, read it. It's one of the things I did not see at any of the stores. People are looking around, look at me, and all they're looking at is the picture on the fucking bag. What does it all mean? Can I really use it on this and this and this and this? I stopped at Home Depot. I gave my little spiel about fish fertilizer and biochar, and they look at me like I was batshit crazy. That's one of the reasons why I'm making this video, these videos. Anyway, so each one of these has a purpose. Those are beneficials, and they claim to aid in certain things, okay? As a all-purpose, it's going to aid in everything. So don't just believe the picture, what you're seeing. That's the same exact picture for two different things, okay? I've even heard the thing, well, isn't blood meal the same thing as blood meal, because blood meal comes from bone meal? No, not necessarily. I don't know where Espoma gets these materials or what they're derived from exactly, but they've separated them on purpose for their actual purpose that they need. All right. Let's look at this. Citrus and fruit. Okay, I'm going to mainly give this to my citrus. I did have an actual citrus only, but I ran out last year. I thought I had some left over in my Foot Locker, but I guess not. So here's the NPK right there. It's a 10-8. Okay. This claims to be a farmer's mix, and I can tell you, I used this product before, and it's well worth it. Okay. They put in there products that farmers use, but then add filler of other things to help move it along further, okay? And this guy here, all right, brand new bag, and I got a hole in it as soon as I got it in the back of the truck, okay? Okay, you can't see it. All right, so long lasting, ideal for all herbs and vegetables, okay? This is another basic general purpose, okay? But I use that one mainly on my food garden, okay? And those two on my food garden, but I will use that mixed in with the other two, okay, on all the fucking big planters and buckets and things that I already showed you, all right? Because they will lose nutrients faster than the ground, all right? These are more dense with binder fertilizer mix, and they're not losing their nutrition so fast, okay? Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say about it. It's pretty simple. I don't want to go into too much detail. I'm trying to force myself not to go into detail because it gets confusing. I'm trying to keep this user-friendly, all right? So if I'm stuttering or sound like a fumbling fucking idiot, it's because I'm trying to simplify what I have in my head, all right? It's that simple. It really is. So just go to the store, read the bag, okay? People, there's 50-50 mixed feelings about bird pea. I don't know. I've never seen this product before. I'm willing to try it. But this is the one I always use, all right? It's relatively new as of a couple years, but I've been using that repeatedly for the past a couple years, and I love it. It has everything I want in it, and it's general purpose, and I can mix it with the other two and other things. So anyway, that's basically all I had today. I did wet fertilizer yesterday, dry fertilizer today, and I really want real people in real backyards to really understand that you can do this. It's not that confusing, okay? If you want a plum tree, research the plum trees that you just bought. Figure out what they need in the soil, the weather conditions they need to bloom leaves, flowers, and fruit. Go get the stuff, okay? It's not that hard. If you have the money to invest in $100 fruit trees, okay, or even the $50 ones at Home Depot and Lowe's, okay, and even Walmart. Actually, you know what? I went to the garden center and go check out that $6 bag of Wakefield bar tar. They had a sparse amount of peach trees and apple trees. That was surprising, okay? So if you get one of them $30, $40, $50 trees, you still got to take care of it, okay? I spent $100 on a tree. I would take 10% of that, that's $10, and go buy a $10 bag of fertilizer, a $5 bag of biochar, and either make or find some compost, okay? It's not that hard. You can do this cheap, you can do this in a small space. And everything you see here is a combination of damn near everything you've seen on the internet. It's that simple. 25 by 30 square foot area. I still got to do the front fence and gate, okay? Anyway, y'all have a great day. I'm gonna get inside, get this stuff cleaned up, and put away. Later.